first started driving 20 years ago, the town was actually doing less business than it is today. It was a boom town way back, early 1900s, late 1800s. Silver and other minerals, I imagine. There's your sign, Tonopah, Texaco. That's at the south end of town. There's the energy station. All of these homes here on the left are temporary-ish mobile homes, but not for the mining employees and whatnot, what have you, etc. It's growing quite a bit out here. I don't know which year made the difference. I don't know if it was after Obama came in or if it was while Bush was in, but things really started to pick up a lot. There's a graveyard right there. I know you didn't get to see it very well, but you'll just have to take my word for it. Now, this is a little bit interesting. This hotel up here on the left, that's a brand new building. On the grounds, oh, there's another old one off there to the right. Brand new building on the grounds of one that was all torn up with the paper of the walls showing because the windows were all broken and the ceilings were collapsing, and it was a mess. And they came in, they put in a brand new motel next to the brand new gas station. And amongst all of this, you have remnants of the old mining town. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but there was one of the older clapboard buildings and whatnot in there. Older hotels, a very old casino coming up on the left side. You'll see the sign for it there. It says Bank Club. It's been around quite a long time. The real residents are up there on the hill, the ones that have been there forever and ever and ever and ever. And this little building here on the right, never knew what was in it. Cool old truck. It's been there for about 6-7 years. Just randomly put there. It's for sale now for $1,000. That's the Clown Motel, the world famous internet sensation, the Clown Motel. Because everybody loves to sleep with the clowns. Sorry about all the jostling. It's a bumpy road. Speed limit's 25 through town, winter, summer, spring, or fall. And we'll be approaching some more mining stuff up there. Let's see if we can barely see it off there to the left. And there's some old Western style buildings that are still up and using. There's an old garage up here on the left that hasn't been used as a garage for quite a long time, the Tonopah garage. And that Mercury that's sitting out in front has been sitting there since the day I started driving truck. Chevrolet, Campbell and Kelly, etc. Now we're coming up to the Mizpah Hotel, which is still fully functional. I've never stayed there. I couldn't tell you if it's good or bad, but it's functional, evidently. There's an antique store that didn't quite cut it, so it's just an antique storehouse. A lot of this stuff is getting brought back to life, slowly but surely. This building on the right reminds me of one that's in Shingle Springs, California. I didn't get a focus on it very well. The local post office, a little bit larger than most of them out here in this area of the state. Doing 25 miles an hour was going to be slow enough to really catch some of this stuff and be able to show it to you and tell you about it, as far as I can tell when I just drive by. But not so much. This house up here on the left, the little gray one right there, is actually lived in and resided in. Up until recently, it was a lawyer's office. I know, weird. game that you can play in your mind as to whether or not somebody actually lives in some of these buildings or not. I mean, some of them are so run down on the outside, but there's a, newer car out in the yard, or, somebody walking in as you go by. It's very peculiar. Out in this part of the state, this is the big city. Everything else is smaller than Tonopah until we get to Las Vegas. There's two more towns that are noticeable driving through as we go. We'll be driving through Goldfield in about 40 minutes. And its main bragging point when I stopped for lunch and spoke to the mayor was that they don't have building permits required. So you can just move into town, bring in a bunch of cinder blocks and some crazy glue, and you can build your house without a permit. Lucky you. If you want to live in it or not, that's up to you too, I suppose. Just all comes down to how much faith you have in yourself. It has a glorious hotel that used to be something else. Now we're talking about Goldfield at the moment, not Tonopah. And they shut it down. And you look at the face of it and you think, man, that really could have been something. I wonder when it shut down and specifically what for. But when you stop and realize that building codes have changed, and yeah, they may not require permits in that town for residencies. If they don't have any building codes for a hotel, I don't think anybody's going to stay in it. I mean, the darn thing is 4 or 5 stories tall. It was really something to look at. I bet it was special inside, but it's all closed now. Somebody bought it, and they're doing some kind of renovation, but they are really slow. It's like some guy and his wife doing it over the last 15, 20 years. Slow. But that's the way that goes. I don't know. I might take a video of it as we get into it, but I just wanted to show you the town of Tonopah and the Clown Motel and the mining industry around it that you can see from the main street going through town. In the meantime, we will go back to driving. I will watch somebody who knows how to vlog later on and try to get some clues how to do this stuff. I don't know. We'll talk to you guys in a bit.